on The Young and the Restless has had a long history on the soap with a few recasts along the way, so it's understandable if there are some gaps in the memories of some fans. But we're here to fill them in. Who plays Kyle on Y&R? After a series of babies and toddlers, Garrett Ryan debuted as a young Kyle in February 2010. But in March 2012, the character was struck by a serious case of soreness, growing into a young man played by Blake Hood. After a year, Y&R replaced him with Hartley Sawyer, who only lasted 8 months, exiting in January 2014. In February 2015, Lachlan Buchanan took over the role, making his last appearance in April 2016. And in March 2018, daytime newcomer Michael Mueller became the 4th adult actor to play the Abbott heir, though by July 2021, he had announced his exit. Who are Kyle's parents? Kyle was originally named Christian Victor Newman because Diane Jenkins had stolen Victor Newman's frozen sperm to inseminate herself with his child. But it was later revealed that Nikki had switched samples, and Jack Abbott was actually the baby's father. Diane renamed the baby Kyle, and Jack sued for custody of his son. He lost, but after Diane burned down the Abbott pool house and framed Jack's wife, Phyllis, for the crime, the couple successfully gained custody of the boy. But later, Jack returned Kyle to Diane, and they left town together. Jack, Kyle, and Diane were never much for playing happy families, but they take a good photo. Sean Smith/JPStudios.com. Kyle returned to Genoa City with his mom in 2010 for a visit, and he was able to get to know his father while Jack and Diane were investigated by the SEC for fraud. Diane sent him to boarding school because she was planning on faking her own death, but then she was actually murdered. Jack tracked down his son and brought him home, but Victor revealed that he'd signed custody papers for Diane, giving him rights to the boy. Furious, Jack sent Kyle off to boarding school again. How did Kyle and Summer meet? When Kyle returned, he was an adult, and angry at his father for starting a relationship with Nikki Newman, who was responsible for his mother's death. He then moved in with Victor and began dating Eden Baldwin. But when Victor went missing and Sharon took over the ranch, Kyle moved back in with his real father. Learning that Jack had been abusing pain medication, Kyle leaked the story to the press in the hopes of getting his father to seek help. When Jack resigned as CEO of Newman, he offered Kyle a job at Jobot, where he met Summer Newman. They began a relationship, which concerned Phyllis and Nick, who knew Summer was really Jack's daughter, making her and Kyle half-siblings. Kyle was always loyal to his father. Howard Wise/JPStudios.com. Phyllis Summers put the moves on Kyle to lure him away from Summer, and the truth about her parentage was finally revealed. Although in reality, Sharon had switched the test results and Nick was Summer's real father, Kyle got involved in some corporate intrigue between Jobot, Newman, and Chancellor, and eventually went to work for Jobot in New York. Kyle returned to Genoa City in 2015 and found himself immediately mixed up in a murder mystery. Some found it suspicious he came back just as Summer's husband, Austin Travers, was murdered. Kyle denied killing him, admitting that they'd only come to blows after he learned that Austin had cheated on Summer with Abby Newman. After Courtney was found dead, the teens all came clean to the cops. Eventually, it was revealed that Detective Mark Harding was the real killer, and the mystery was finally solved. Why did Kyle and Summer split up? During all that drama, Kyle reconnected with Summer, and now knowing they were not related, the two were able to have a proper relationship despite being members of rival families. However, they eventually fizzled out as Kyle began working in New York City and the long-distance relationship became too difficult to sustain. When he eventually returned to town, Summer had moved on with Luca. Although he attempted to warn her about the con man, she refused to listen. After he was proven right and Summer was left betrayed and heartbroken, Kyle left town again. Kyle and Lola came from different worlds, but the heart wants what the heart wants. HowardWise/JPStudios.com. Kyle came home in 2018 to discover his father in jail for Victor's attempted murder. Bitter over Jack's mistreatment, Kyle took over at Jawboat and planned to sell the company to Victor. Thankfully, he was thwarted by Jack, and Kyle began the slow road towards regaining the trust and acceptance of his family. Helping Jack discover the identity of his real father helped bring the father and son closer together. How did Kyle and Lola fall in love? Although Kyle tried to spark things with Summer, she was obsessed with Billy at the time, so he gave up and found himself drawn to newcomer Lola Rosales. Coming from two different worlds, their relationship got off to a rocky start, but once she accepted his wealth and he accepted her pride, they were able to make it work. Unfortunately, Summer returned to Genoa City intent on sinking her claws into Kyle, and offered him the one thing Lola was unwilling to give him: sex. Kyle remained true to Lola, but when she wound up in the hospital and requiring a liver transplant, Summer was the only match, and Kyle agreed to marry her for 1 year if she would be the donor and save Lola's life. However, once Lola recovered, Kyle couldn't stay away and the pair finally made love for the very first time. Summer was furious when Kyle backed out of their deal and ended their marriage. Kyle proposed to Lola, but as they prepared to tie the knot, his old friend, Theo Vanderway, arrived in Genoa City holding on to an explosive secret from their time in NYC that could ruin everything. It turns out that at a big party, a young woman had to be rushed to the hospital, and when she turned out to be underage, Kyle paid off her father to keep it under wraps. But then Theo brought that young woman, Zoe, to Kyle and Lola's wedding. Summer and Kyle were good at mixing business with pleasure. HowardWise/JPStudios.com. Why did Kyle leave Lola for Summer? Thankfully, Theo wasn't able to stir up enough trouble, and Kyle and Lola happily tied the knot and began their life together. But while dealing with his work at Jawboat, Kyle clashed with a newly hired Theo who turned out to be his cousin. And on the home front, his marriage to Lola was threatened by her friendship with Theo and Kyle's lingering feelings for Summer. Ultimately, Kyle and Lola chose to divorce and go their separate ways. He united with Summer and they teamed up to sabotage Theo at Jawboat and get him fired. The couple wanted to keep things casual but soon decided to move in together and secretly got engaged. They almost eloped, but Summer backed off, fearing he still loved Lola. Kyle vowed to prove his love to Summer and eventually, the pair reconciled. How does Kyle have a child? When Sally Spectra began working at Jawboat, Summer felt threatened, and Kyle reluctantly traveled with her to LA, to dig up dirt on her rival. Summer learned quite a bit about Sally's shady past, but Kyle urged her not to use it, just hold it as leverage. However, Sally got leverage of her own when Theo popped back to drop the bombshell that Kyle had an affair with Tara Locke, the wife of ruthless businessman Ashland Locke, and was actually the father of her son, Harrison. Although she tried to deny it when he asked, Tara eventually admitted the little boy was Kyle's. and when Ashland reacted as expected, she and the child moved into the Abbott mansion for protection. Kyle found he enjoyed being a dad to little Harrison. Howard Wise/JPStudios.com. Kyle was thrilled to be given the opportunity to get to know his son and hoped to be able to work out a satisfactory custody arrangement with Ashland. He was then stunned when Summer announced that she was leaving Genoa City for a job opportunity in Italy, and broke up with him, not realizing that Tara and Sally had worked together to get her out of the picture. Although Tara wanted to get closer, Kyle's focus remained on his son. Stay tuned to see how Kyle's story continues. Ad block test: why?